What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Hans here. I am back. Listen, episode 18, I'm so proud. Thank you, God, for this amazing episode. And God told me, you know what? It's 18. You got to come up with something dope. You got to get somebody who's going to be amazing. 18, it's not a number that you play with. So I looked at my bag, and I called my man, Miguel Wilson. He runs everything fashion in Georgia, Florida, New York, Miami, Vegas, all the places I can't even think of. Listen, when you talk about men's health, there's nobody else that I would rather talk to than the guru himself, Mr. Miguel Wilson. Let's go! What's going on, my guy?
Hey, brother. Good to see you, man.
Hey, man.
You
Pleasure.
know, I need you everywhere with me. You know, walking the door, ladies and gentlemen.
You remember,
on your feet.
What was that movie? I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. My man had his own theme music.
Yeah, exactly.
That is it, man. So listen, Miguel, the way we do this, we always lay down the house rules. One of the house rules is, of course, ask my guests to leave your keys at the door. No gatekeeping. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And we're going to keep another house rule, which is we make sure that our podcast is 90% information and 10% motivation. We know everybody has a backstory, but we really want people to focus on your future and your present and not really your past.
Outstanding.
Let your past inspire them, but your future is going to keep them motivated and keep them going. That's cool with you?
I love it.
All right. And sometimes I'll ask my engineers or my executive producer, if you say something and they want to ask the question, we'll be speaking to them too, because you got a lot of information.
Let's go.
And you are just such a dope individual.
Man, thank you.
Right?
Brother.
If you guys have never been to one of his polo classics, polo fashion, black tie event, this guy does everything on such a high end. And we're going to talk about high end because I said something, and you gave your opinion at the polo classic. So I want to actually touch on that, right?
Okay.
So Miguel gives everyone who sponsors his event a chance to speak, and my heart told me to really give you your flowers for black excellence. Mm-hmm. And then when you got the mic, you're like, I want to talk about excellence. And I was like, this dude don't make me. But when I heard you say something, it made sense.
Right.
But why was that so important for you to convey? And then we'll go back to your backstory.
Right.
But that is something that I was like, it's a flowing conversation.
Right. I guess, and I know that the term black excellence is something that a lot of people use, and I think with and good intention. Mm-hmm. But I think too often people see that as a different excellence than normal excellence. Mm-hmm. Black excellence is no different. And I want to make the distinction that what I do is excellent to whoever experiences, not just the black people.
I love that.
And it is inclusive, but, black people don't have a different excellence than anyone else. And I don't want it, because anything that people tend to put black on, they tend to look at as less than. Okay? Even when you think about, I made a distinction in the food, soul food. I serve soul food at my events. And it was, for me, it was important because it is soul food, they would never look at soul food as gourmet.
That's true.
Right.
I never thought about that.
Right. So I made a distinction that we serve gourmet soul food because we have the best food. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hands everybody in the world eats it. But why would you limit it to just, street corner food, food truck food when it's really some of the best food? And so I think that, my purpose, one of my main purposes in life, I think, is to change the perception that we as black people have of ourselves. Okay? Stop looking at each other in a small, mediocre, less than way. We have to, the world going to see us that way.
Yeah.
But how we see ourselves is more important. Okay? And I think that also affects our ability to do business with one another. See, and that's so important that we do that because to me, particularly in the environments we operate in today, mm-hmm. the real catalyst of change, the thing that will elevate us, the thing that makes the difference is not, while I agree with, the boycotts, I support, what Pastor Jamal Bryan's doing with Target, mm-hmm. but you got to give people somewhere to shop, right? When you say don't shop here, where you going to shop? Well, you got to shop with each other. Okay, that to me is where real economic growth and change comes from, where our ability to do business with one another and to not look at each other as little small businesses or this and that. As a designer, I'm often in the belief that we are fine spending $5 T-shirt money with each other, right? But when it comes to the $300 T-shirts, you spend it with other people.
Yeah.
We have to change that.
And you can, that's so dope that you said that. But even when you're saying it, that mentality goes with your fashion, right? Because you're like, it's not about just being like, we ain't going to this event. We're going to an event that represents just excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So now I want to go back to your background because I'm watching the correlation with your fashion and your business sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Because you were military before.
Right.
Then you went to Clark.
Yeah, but I've been a businessman since I was a kid.
Yeah, what was your first job?
So my grandfather owned a liquor store
in
D.C. And the one thing, he would always tell me, I can hear him saying it as if it happened yesterday. He said, man, work for yourself. You got to start your own business. You got to work for yourself. He had a cab. He was a hustler. And, I remember, as a kid, I'm working in a liquor store. I'm like 11, 12 years old. And, stocking, I had to stand in the back. So the man came in, it was against the law for kids to work in a liquor store.
Yeah.
But my grandfather had me working in there, stocking shelves and doing stuff. And, he had me with him all the time. So that was a real great inspiration. And then it's my dad, who I was fortunate to have two fathers. I had my biological father and then my father who adopted me. But my biological dad, he had a interior design business.
Okay.
And it was in Montgomery County in Chevy Chase, Maryland, which is probably one of the most exclusive zip codes in the country. When that's the price of houses, is high super end. So my dad was right there on Wisconsin Avenue in D.C., Chevy Chase, Maryland. He had a beautiful interior design business. Furniture was just.
And he's doing it for the high end. So you got.
You walk in there, man. He got the classical music playing. He got the little small teacups, and champagne glasses. And I was just always in awe of just the look that he created. Even his clothes. My grandfather and my father both were just fashion guys. They dressed. I mean, they walk in a room and you gonna have to give them props.
You think you got a lot of that?
I got it all from them. I got it all from them, man. They just so I was really blessed to have that. Even in high school, I was I'm gonna have a sport coat on. I might throw some jeans on, but I was in fashion.
In high school.
In high school, yeah. Everybody knew me. They knew. Yeah, they knew what it was.
So before you knew you was a fashion designer, you knew you was about fashion.
I had no idea that I would be a fashion designer. I never studied fashion. I never went to school for fashion. I just, ended up partnering with one of my best friends in 1993. Okay, he was making custom suits, and I'm buying suits off the rack, but I'm trying to make the most of it. But this guy was killing me. I couldn't keep up with him, man. His stuff was, so the detail, the fabrics, the fit,
the rack joint.
And so I had to get on board with him. And you got to acknowledge, man, when you're dealing with something better. So his name was John Gadlin. He passed away a couple years ago. God rest his soul. But brother exposed me to that aspect, and I end up. Taking that and, eventually start my own brand, and we started with executive clothiers I had for many years until I ran some issues, turned right when I should have turned left a couple times, and, ended up.
How old were you, though, when you started your own brand?
So John and I together for about 3 years, and so I went back to school to get my master's.
Mm-hmm.
Got my MBA from Campbell University in North Carolina. And when I finished school, I was like, man, what do I want to do next? And I really loved being in the fashion business. So I said, let me just get back into what I enjoyed. And that was
the start.
That was the start.
No schooling. It was just passion, drive.
No.
I think you took some of the creativity from your dad.
It didn't take long for me to realize I had a gift in design.
Yeah.
And really, because a lot of guys just don't have it. They don't know how to put clothes together. They don't know how to use color. They don't know how to They don't understand.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, well, even I tell you, if I have pet peeves for men in fashion, two main ones is one, I think that I hate to see men who do not wear seasonal clothes. Too often men think, I want to wear all year round clothes because, I can wear it year round.
Yeah.
When you really have the most boring closet in the world when you do that. You don't have no variety. All your stuff is the same, and most guys fall in that thing. Even if you create variety with different weights of fabric, like the wintertime, I have nice cashmere sport coats.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you can never look as good as me in the wintertime wearing something in January that you wore in July.
But we don't, I feel you, right? And do you know about this? Yeah, I do. Right? How about you, Tim? You, 20-something? Did you know about seasonal clothes besides the hoodie and the tank top? So we don't know, Miguel. Don't
that's why. I'm not punishing you.
You got a job right now.
I'm convicting you.
We can make $1 million.
I'm convicting you, brother.
You can make $1 million right now. Come to everybody's closet and say, this goes with this, this goes with this, this goes with this. Like, I probably have it, but I just feel comfortable wearing the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, a lot of us have a closet where 60% of it we never wear. Mm-hmm. So you have clothes that they're not functional really for your lifestyle, or not, because it's just like you said, a duplication. But when you have the ability, you want a good base of year-round clothes, right? You want your basics, your nice navy suit, your black suit, tan suit, whatever, But then you want to have some seasonal pieces that you can mix and match with some of your year-round pieces. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when I wear like I said, a nice cashmere sport coat, that's an investment. Okay, I might spend a little more money on that one piece, but I'll wear it for 20 years. And because it's classic, it's clean, and every time I wear it, it just makes a statement. And same thing for summertime. When you have a nice linen silk blend suit, and being able to match the jacket sometimes with this and the pants with that, it just creates a nice seasonal look. You can look. People should be able to tell what time of year it is by seeing how you dress.
Oh, okay. I never thought about that. But I will piggyback on one thing.
And even in color, you know what I mean? So it's not just the fabric, sometimes incorporating some colors that really, it's fall right now, right?
Yeah.
I got a nice fall color suit on, right now.
Yeah, that's clean. I kind of felt underdressed when you came.
What you expect me dressing with a sweatsuit today?
I don't know.
I got Miguel with some sweatsuits.
Listen,
too.
I had anxiety getting dressed and I was like, Miguel's coming. What do I wear? I was like, man, forget it, man. But you know what you said that made a great point? And I'm going to tell you, this is like a real educational story. So I entered this Goldman Sachs cohort, 8 months, and it's like doctors, attorneys, and different entrepreneurs from all over the world trying to level up our business acumen, right? Okay. Here I go. We did the graduation in New York. I wear a Balmain sweater, right? And so Dr. Mehta, our last guest, he's a comedian and a doctor. Mm-hmm. So he walks in and goes, "Oh, Hans, nice billboard." I was like, because it said Balmain.
Right.
But everybody who had a certain amount of money, blazers, I could only wear that sweater one time. Right. It was a burnt orangey red. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking I'm looking good, man. I want to go back in my room and change and put a blazer on, but we'll spend $1,300 on a one-time sweater, and you're telling me I could have bought something that I could have wore
for 20 years.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And had more of an impact. I could have looked more professional. Mm-hmm. And even at this age now, it's like you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Right? But his criticism or joke made me rethink my whole game plan. Mm-hmm. Right? And so that's why it's so important to have you here, because even at my age of 51, I'm still learning, like, I really want to call a break and go home and shoot the rest of this thing. Go get a blazer and
don't do it. No.
For a guy like me, Sean, Chef, we're comfortable in certain things, but again, you're saying people see us a certain way.
Oh, man. Why wouldn't you feel comfortable looking good?
I do.
I know. So you're saying to me.
I just don't know how
to. So let me explain this to you, okay? It's not about how much you spend. I think there are 3 elements that are very important. The first most important element is the fit. If you had to choose what element I'm going to afford best. The most important thing is invest in a good fit. And the best fits come from having something custom made, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get something custom made, then at least invest in good tailoring of your suits, okay?
Okay.
Even if you have something that's not expensive, if it fits you well, it's going to look great on you. You're going to feel so much better in it. You'll have confidence. An ill-fitting suit, you can never feel good in. Number 2, fabric. Invest in good fabric. Fabric that lasts a long time. People can see quality,
Okay.
right? And the fit is going to make it look even more exquisite, right?
Okay.
So you don't need to have a billboard, Balmain, right? If you got a good fitting suit,
Donate
with great
next sweater
fabric,
ball.
it's going to elevate you, right?
Yeah.
And then design. You want to stick to classic looks that stand the test of time. This jacket I have on is a little more fashion forward because I got a wide lapel on it, but it's one button, it's clean. And I can wear this suit. I can wear this forever.
Now I want to keep going on this, but I still want to talk about how you got started and how can somebody else get started.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
This is an educational program for me and I guess my guys right now. So if I'm going into a job interview, what type of suit should I wear and what color?
Man, I say, don't allow your clothes to distract from your talent. Don't allow the clothes to take away from the conversation. Your clothes should be merely there to compliment you, right? It should say something about your style. It should say something about your class. So just have a nice, great fitting navy blue suit on. That is the safest thing you can ever wear. Sometimes I think people think, I'm a dazzle them with my style. No, you're not.
Yeah.
What you're going to do is distract them from.
So styles can be a distraction.
Yeah,
as well.
style can be distracting. The thing is, in certain environments, less is more, right? Now, I always say I dress for my audience. That's a key point for everyone. Where are you going? Who are you going to talk to? Who are you trying to convey a message to, right? When I walk in a room, it's important that people see me. When I say I do clothes, you got to be able to say, I can see you do clothes, right? Yeah. So I'm going to make a statement in such a way that if I'm walking in a room with preachers, I'm going to make sure the preachers know, okay, I'm preaching today.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But if I'm going into a room with CEOs, they need to know, okay, I can, because they have to be able to see that you can deliver on, they have to see themselves in you. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I can't talk to you about what you're missing and how I can help you if you don't see that I know what I'm talking about. It's like a guy coming to you saying, man, let me get you cut your hair, and I'm a barber and my haircut's messed up.
Yeah, I ain't going.
You can't.
Yeah. It's like going to a fat
exactly.
trainer. I'm not. You ain't working out.
I don't think you know my style, right? You're not.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to dress in accordance to your audience.
Does it sound like? It sounds like your suits almost have a personality. Like it has to complement your personality, or do they have their own personality?
So you can take the same suit and accessorize it differently to give it a different feel, right? So I could take this same suit and put a black shirt on with it and some black shoes, and that'll it just had a different feel to it than more. This is kind of in between business, but yet still a little stylish, right?
Yeah.
Black would give it more of a club owner type feel.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah, exactly. So if I'm talking to entertainers or something, they can get I might wear a black silk shirt with it, and that's going to capture that crowd. So it's about, you could take the same suit and accessorize it in such a way to captivate a different audience.
So again, we want to make sure that people understand this. I'm fading away because I'm trying to accessorize my closet as I'm talking to you. But you started this fashion business, right? So if Sean, Tim, Chef wants to be like, what's the first step? And they don't have the blessing to be around the other guy who taught you, right? So what would be anybody who's that SCAD that's like, man, I want to do this, because you own a store in Phipps, right? Any other locations that I'm not aware of?
So we have D.C.
You got one in D.C.
Yeah, we have showrooms in New York and Miami.
Goodness gracious. So you have one in Atlanta, D.C., Miami, and you're doing those things. So where would be the first I guess, step that someone would say, you know, I want to be the next Miguel Wilson? What do you think they do?
So if your intention is to be in fashion, to work in fashion as a designer, this is, I think, something that's important no matter what business you want to go in. I think I always found that the best businesses are those that solve problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the question would become, you know, what problem do you see in fashion that you can solve, right? Because, you know, you can do what you like. You know, if you're just making clothes that appeal to you, it may be successful, it may not. But how are you going to establish a name or brand if it's just around, you know, just stuff that you like? What's unique about that? You know, the way I approached it was, you know, after many, many years of being in fashion, and even after failing in fashion, when I decided to recommit myself to being in fashion, having to start all over, the question I asked myself is, what is broke? Okay, and what I saw was that no one was doing anything special for grooms. Everybody was working hard to make brides look great.
Yeah.
They were, you know, making women look fantastic. And the thing is, it was broke to me because it didn't make sense that men would be wearing a used tuxedo to the most important day of their life.
Never thought about that.
When a woman's dressed up, she's spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and you spend $50.
Yeah. Yeah.
The math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
Right? You add that on top of the fact that she knows she's gonna wear that one day and one day only, when you can invest in a nice tux and wear it forever. So I just felt that men were missing out on the industry was selling them on, you know, repeat usage of same suits, you know, just a used rental tuxedo. Where I thought that men should be investing more to look their very best. And I think there was a transition, too, when you saw that there was a time when the bride's father would be paying for the wedding, right?
Yeah.
And I guess daddy wants to spend more money on a baby girl, right? But then, you know, nowadays men are investing. They're the ones paying for most of the weddings. And daddies ain't paying that much no more, right? So here you are having the biggest party of your life, and that's what a wedding is for the most part for most people.
Yeah.
It's the biggest party you will ever throw. So shouldn't you look like it's your party? And why should you be shortchanged? They invest the money in the flowers. They got the money in the food. They got the money in the pictures, only for you to look like a clown.
Yeah. We be looking like statues. Like
Right.
Everybody look the same. Black tie,
right.
black shirt.
So I created the Miguel Wilson Wedding Collection. And it wasn't just about the clothes. It was about creating an experience for men. Women tend to, when they get engaged, they get call their girlfriends. Let's go dress shopping. And what do? They sit around, they sipping champagne.
It's an experience for them.
It's an experience, man. They having fun.
Situation.
It's fun. You know, so I wanted to do the same thing for guys. And that's what we created, showrooms for guys to come in, bring their boys, you know, pick out the clothes, and for you guys to sit around. And we created this thing called the Groom's Lounge.
Nice.
Where the groom can bring his boys, they get fitted, they having, you know, we don't do champagne, we doing whiskey, you know,
nice
tequila, and sipping, you know, and then
I'm gonna go just pretend like I'm gonna get married. Again.
Right, there you go. And then we do a roast and toast to the groom, which is incredible because it's just not too often that particularly brothers get a chance to tell each other, man, I see your growth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen you come from over here and now you're over there. I've seen,
give each other flowers.
you know, I've seen the difference that this woman is making in your life. You know, and all these things, man. I think it's you see guys that celebrate this man, brothers celebrating each other.
Yeah.
It's just something that you don't see in society.
That's crazy because, I mean, I love it because all of our guests, and I hope you guys see, if you guys are watching this podcast on a regular, one of the things that I noticed the common denominator with all my guests is their business why is bigger than them. Like, you're really talking about the way people make each other feel. You're not even getting anything from that. You're like, just this experience, brothers talk to each other in an intimate way, but giving each other flowers.
Yeah.
And that's almost like your payment.
Man.
Right? That's crazy, man. Where'd you get that from?
God, period. 'Cause,
God?
you know, God gave me the vision. But, you know, I'll tell you this. I always tell my guys too that work our stores, people may forget how you made them look, but they will never forget how you make them feel.
That's true.
And it's so important that we spread love through what we do. This is our ministry, clothes, what we love doing, and but the thing is, it's an emotional part too. When you walk into our stores, and it's like you being, Hans, you shop with us, man. You come around, you feel family when you walk in the door.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I could tell people the experience. So I went first time last year, and Miguel's like, Hans, just trust the process. And he put me with one of his guys. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna put you in something green. I was like, green, bro, a green suit. But man, my Instagram went crazy when I put that thing together. Like, I had so many comments like, yo, this is dope, and I had my name on it.
Yeah,
I felt different. And so one of the great things about that is, I was like, I gotta get Miguel on here because it's a self-esteem booster. I could have walked into your thing and everybody's dressed deck, and I'm the guy with the shirt off the rack. Right? But I spent the money, and you don't even think about it. Because people are like, hey, man, I had a couple people come to me and say, you look important, like I need to talk to you. I'm like, oh, for real? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so have you heard a lot of like testimonies like, man, this thing.
Yeah, I think that's so important. What you just said is that for a lot of us, it saves on the explanation. Like when you are trying to establish yourself in business, you're trying to attract people. How you dress can attract or detract. So you want to look like the guy that people want to speak to, because now when you approach someone, they're interested in hearing what you have to say because you look like somebody that has something to say.
Definitely.
Or vice versa. And sometimes people will walk up to you and say, man, just how you look like somebody I need to know. And I think that just makes the conversation so much easier. And the introductions,
It does, man.
Yeah,
It elevated my confidence. I'm a confident guy, but this was just another, like, I don't care what anybody says, man. I walk in every room and act like I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah.
But then when you're greeted a certain way, you're like, oh, yeah, God got me here for a reason.
Yeah.
But it started with the way I looked, right?
Right.
So how often do you hear people go, man, I got this job. Like, bro, this girl talked to me, and I want you to give me advice on what suit I should wear when I take my girl out there. I was just out there.
Well, this is the thing. Fashion is a form of communication, period. It's nonverbal communication. You're saying something based on your attire every day. When you walk in a room, walk in the store, just going about business, whatever, people will internalize a perception about you purely on your attire. So you can control what you communicate by what you wear and how you wear it. And that to me is something that, few people really take advantage of, and that's what makes it so easy to stand out in this environment because everyone's so casual and so everybody's so laid back that a person who takes the time to really put something together nice and you're going to stand out and you're going to make a statement.
Yeah, it's different. I ain't do it this year, so I ain't get no compliments. But I'm going to be back on track next year. So if someone started, they got to find the need, right? Fix what's broken, right? And then what would be the next step? Do they just find a seamstress? Do they create their LLC, come up with the name?
So if you're just trying to figure something out, I think you need to test the market first, okay? You want to know that this idea is something that sounds good to me. I think it's a good idea, but, am I ready to start a business? No. You need to go maybe to your friends, family.
That's a great idea.
And say, hey, what do you think about this, And a lot of people, who you're close to shoot you straight, man, that's garbage, or man, it's fire, I would wear that, And so you can understand, and see if your friends would do business with you, would they pay to do. Now, it's not the be all of what they would say, but I think it just gives you somewhat of a test to see whether you on track to something, because something can be a passion of yours, right? But I think there's a big difference between a business and a passion. Something you're passionate about may not be meant to make money from. Maybe it's just for something fun. Because what happens too is, you can have something you love doing, and the moment you need to make money from it, the passion can leave. You know,
Definitely.
it can. I'd say that, you know, the moment you need it, now you need to make money every week from it. You don't get to enjoy the aspects of it you love. Maybe it's now you got to hustle.
Yeah.
And you feel like, you know, you're hungry, so you starving, so you kind of get into the mode of maybe even begging something, man. Come on, buy something, you know. And now what you enjoy doing is no longer as enjoyable. So I think it's a process.
Yeah.
And I think you need to figure out whether you have a good idea. And I think, too, sometimes you can start off here and end up somewhere totally different, you know, in fashion through the process of learning, through the process of failure even.
Yeah.
I think
and
that.
you talked about that. You said you stopped, then you started again.
Yeah.
So we don't have to talk about what made you stop, but what made you start again?
Well, you know, I stopped because I went back to grad school. The business partnership wasn't working out. I said, you know what, man, you know, he bought me out, and I just went back to school for a minute until I figured out my next moves. But when I thought about what I wanted to do next, I really enjoyed what I was doing. So that brought me back to it. It was the passion, and you know, I was selling clothes and having fun doing it. So.
Yeah. And I intentionally said that because I wanted to tie in together when you said passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought that back in because I knew the passion brought you back to what probably is your calling, right? And so what you're telling these people that are listening is, yeah, it's a great idea, but number one, make sure that you're really invested in your passion, right? Because it's going to get rough.
Oh, it's
and
going to
you're
be
gonna
rough.
have to quit.
Yeah.
But if it's your true passion, it's going to bring you back around. You're going to come back to it.
Right.
And then number two is find out the problem and see if you can fix it.
Right.
Right. Number three is be your own test dummy with your friends, right?
Gotcha, yeah.
And so we're laying down that foundation for people, at least the beginning stages.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to take a while for y'all to get to the Miguel Wilson status, right? Because Miguel is not, when I'm talking to this gentleman right here, it's not that I'm just talking to someone who has a store. He's opened up or he has done weddings for some of your favorite celebrities.
Yeah.
We don't have to mention any, but I've seen, check his Instagram out. What's your Instagram, by the way?
Oh, Miguel Wilson Collection.
There we go. And
Yeah.
you'll see some of the people that he's done. And so this is a guy who comes in with not only just a lot of experience doing celebrities, but he's learned from the best. You got the vision from your father.
Right.
Man.
But you know, the thing about doing celebrities that I don't like is...
Wait, you done suits for people you don't like?
No.
The part that you don't like.
The part that I don't like is that when you drive your business celebrity-wise, where people see you doing celebrities all the time, they think that you're out of touch with
I can see
the
that.
average guy. And that's the first problem. So they may not reach out or may not, come do business with you because they're thinking that, oh, you're too big for me. The second thing is I think that I despise is that when you have a problem, people will automatically suggest that, oh, we only have this problem because I'm not a celebrity. This happened to me because I'm not important to you. And see, nothing could be further from the truth because, I really thrive on providing exceptional service to everyone. And regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless of your race, regardless of any aspects. So it's hurtful because on every receipt, Miguel Wilson receipt you get is my personal cell phone number.
Dope. That's dope. I got to give you
So, yeah. So people will call like, man, this is Miguel. Oh, I can't believe it's you. Yeah. Well, I had one client, had issues and stuff. They called me like 11 o'clock at night and went down that whole path of, this problem having. I said, listen, first and foremost, we aren't perfect. Okay. Now, understand this. We may not operate in perfection, but we do operate in excellence. And there's a difference. Excellence means that regardless of what the problem is, we'll get it right. And the fact that you were able to call me at 11 o'clock at night should be a testimony as to how important you are to me. I'm up here talking to you at 11 o'clock at night. Who else would do that?
In a totally different way.
Yeah, who else would do that for you? So you can't attach, any label to me other than caring, concern. Now, I'm never going to operate from a standpoint of perfection because only God has that, right? But my desire is to always operate in excellence, though. So whatever the issue is, provided that you came to us enough time, we'll get it right. So, and people just automatically, as consumers, will never own up to any mistake that they make, ever.
Yeah.
Because a customer,
Yeah.
that's why I put everything in writing, everything, because they're going to say, I didn't know.
Yeah.
They're going to say, you didn't tell me. They're going to say,
Right, it ain't happening.
the people going to always look to assign fault to, especially if it means costing money. All right. So it's important as a business person that you anticipate every potential problem. And when you have a problem, you have to develop a solution that prevents that problem from happening again. Okay. So through the process, that's going through the process of learning. If you're dealing with the same issue repetitively, that means you haven't addressed the issue. And I think a lot of times businesses operate like that. They don't.
Yeah.
They're not solution based.
Yeah.
You know.
The SOPs are the same. It's the same 3 pages as it was when they first started.
Yeah. You have to adjust to new situations, and you know, as long as you're in business, something else gonna happen that you ain't seen before.
I was talking to a mentee of mine, and she was like, "Oh my God, this happened." I was like, "Yeah, good. That's a way for us. Now we can create a solution for it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't run away from the problem. Don't complain about it. This is a chance for us to increase our policy and procedure.
Right.
Right. So now we know how to do this now moving forward. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to be hands off. But I will say something going back to what you said. And if you guys don't believe me, I'm telling you, you guys know I give my cell phone number out. So I love that about you because I was talking to one of my mentees last night. My son's running across. I'm like, I know you paid a lot, but this is what comes with me if you want this personal touch. I could attest to the fact that when you guys go to one of his locations, for the same part, if Miguel's not there, you feel Miguel's presence, right? So it's not like, oh, he's too big for me. No, you are going to get that personal touch. Like I swear to y'all, like I got that personal touch. It's like he is really hands-on about what he says. And so you drove all the way here. Nobody paid you.
Right.
It was like, look, I'm going to come and help you out. I called you a couple of days ago. So that just, again, is a true testament to who you are. But not only that, if you guys don't believe this, like people say this crap all the time. Well, I'll do this. This dude has one of the largest foundations, or the only one in the country that teaches young men, right, to play the sport of polo. That ain't something that's like, oh, I'm going to monetize.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking to your heart.
Right.
That every year you have this foundation that goes above and beyond for young men to learn this game of polo, which is amazing. So that tells people everything you do, bro, is about you. I just want to give you your flowers.
Thank
real
you.
quick.
Thank you. I mean, we're not the only one. I think there are other organizations that focus on teaching kids from underprivileged situations to ride horses, play polo, and stuff like that. But what we've done, though, is started the first HBCU polo team
Nice.
at Morehouse, and we started the first black high school polo team at the Best Academy. So that's been our legacy, if you will, in doing something unique for the sport and for our culture.
Again, you're saying like everything you do seems like, correct me, I'm going to find the problem, or it doesn't even have to be a problem. I'm going to find out what this situation's missing. Other people did the polo thing, but nobody did the HBCU polo thing.
Right. Well, the thing was, it wasn't so much that I'm saying I'm going to find the thing that's missing. It was, situations that brought me face to face with the problem. You know what I mean? So with the Morehouse team, I had a young man who was going to Morehouse that liked to play polo, and he wanted an opportunity to play in college. So that just led to us starting creating a team there. I think doing the team there at the college level, I realized a problem that, for these kids to get to college and start playing polo, they're way behind. Like against other college teams, you're not going to be as competitive just learning how to ride and competing against kids who've been playing for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? Who've been playing for a long time. So I said, and additionally, I wanted to have a greater impact on kids to enable them to go to college. So starting with them at 11 years old, 12 years old, gets them and get them in playing polo at that age, not only expose them to this game early on, but also, we can have more impact on their desire and ability to go to college. And particularly for young black men, I think we want to see them, by the time they're college, when you get into college, you already made it to some degree. As a young black man, not many of us have that opportunity. So I want to get to kids. I want to be able to have an impact on kids to getting them to that point versus, having an impact on once they got there already.
What keeps you, and I'm trying to figure this out because I love when people go, you could have just been like, I'm a Miguel Wilson. I'm just keep opening stores throughout but now you're like, no, I'm going to take time to do this, right? And I know you were in the military, so your life was about service then, right? And then you're part of a fraternity, right? You want to shout
Kappa
out.
Alpha Psi fraternity. Yo.
I know that's about service as well, right?
Absolutely.
Looking out for the person to your left and your right. Your whole thing is about service, bro. Where is that? I know you're saying God, but be honest, I'm saying you're lying about that, but was there a turning point? Was there you was like that since you was 5?
I think that it is, there's a scripture, to whom much is given, much is required. And I've felt a level of requirement that I must do for others because I've had so much done for me. And I do, services is a gift to be able to do for others, to help others, to serve is a gift. You have to be in a certain position to serve, to give, So, and I think that everybody can, I think that wherever you are in life, if you have to wait till you make it to give back, then you just don't have it to give at all. Because when you make it, you're just more of what you were. You know what I mean? So whatever you do with no money, you're going to do when you have money. You're going to do more of it. So if you are a person with very little money and you volunteer and you're giving back in that way, when you get money, you're going to be able to give back on a larger scale, right? So I just think that you should be, whoever you are with no money is who you are on a bigger level with money.
It just highlights who you really are.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's funny because me and Chef are laughing because we be dealing with that. But it's true. Now, you guys are looking at somebody who owns businesses, who has a charitable foundation. So you're a leader amongst men that their main purpose is serving. Y'all don't have to just be like, I'm a boss, I'm going to just delegate. Part of leadership is serving, making sure that your employees are good, making sure your community is good. Y'all talking to a guy who doesn't have to do that, right? But his first thing that comes out of his mouth is, I want to serve as a leader. So it's super, I just want people to know that. Like, when they see that, it's like, oh, I'm going to open up my own fashion. I'm going to be like, Miguel. Well, Miguel serves. Do you do that? You know what I mean? Just not, I do fashion for people, make a lot of money. I serve and give back.
Yeah. One thing we do, and I'm really proud of, is because I do understand the importance of even at the high school level, kids look great and going to prom. Everybody can't afford prom suits, so we tend to give away about 100 tuxedos every year for proms. And it's so important, I think, because, I don't like the idea of a kid not being able to go to prom because he didn't have anything to wear. And so we bring kids to the store, and we'll talk to them about business and expose them to dressing and that type of thing, and then dress them in something nice for prom. And that's one of the greatest feelings I get in terms of giving back is when we see these kids, man, put something on. You can see from the moment they put it on, just the energy and attitude is so different, man. To see them walk around, man, it's just it's elevating.
Clothes changed it, man. Let me
Clothes
tell you
change.
something. I usually curse every episode, but because you got that suit on, I don't feel like it's appropriate. Go put me on a suit so I can stop cursing.
Right.
It's just amazing what you're doing, man. Again, it's not supposed to be a motivational podcast, but you did lay the blueprint and a foundation for someone who wants to get started in the fashion stuff, right? But if there's anything that we're leaving out for someone, I know it's find your passion, find maybe something that's not there in that. Do a test drive on all your closest friends, right? Is there anything we're missing? Because I think that's enough homework for someone to get started. And make sure your passion still drives you when the money's not coming, right?
Exactly.
Is finding a mentor maybe?
Finding a mentor can help you tremendously. I think that people underestimate sometimes the road to success is a very rough road. To have someone that's been down that road already to help you can smooth that road out a lot for you. And mistakes are costly. Mistakes can put you out of business.
Yes.
So investing in, someone that can help you in the business that you plan to be in, can help prolong or shorten the distance from where you are to being successful and being profitable. So I'm a big proponent of having mentors and so forth. But
You mentor people?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Nice.
But I'll say this too. I think that one thing that businesses, I don't care what business you're in, that if you can bring this to the table, and that's integrity. And I think that's one of the things they don't teach you in business school or any other school, the importance of just having good character in business, treating people like you want to be treated. It sounds cliche-ish, but at the end of the day, there's no substitute for good character. You have to be able to have repeat business, and people will tarnish your name for nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's important that you don't give them a reason to, and that you operate with character and integrity. Don't allow a dollar to cost you your integrity and your name, because your name is the thing that's important that you maintain no matter what.
Yeah, and unlike any other business, you're in the fashion business, so you can't hide behind constant health care, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the business. I had nothing to do.
Right.
Like, you're Miguel Wilson, so
Right.
all falls
on my name,
your shoulder.
That's so important.
Your name.
Exactly.
So that's huge. So those of you guys that try to get in fashion, again, Miguel's saying work and operate in excellence, and
Mm-hmm.
part of that excellence is your integrity,
Mm-hmm.
because you got in fashion. Y'all can't hide behind, the stores and all that. It's you, and that's it. Different like any other business.
Well, whatever brand. I mean, the brand, you are the brand in
Yeah.
most cases, especially
Yeah,
small
like
business.
Miguel goes to the gym like this, like literally.
Right, not quite.
That's like it, man.
Right.
He just wears excellence, walks a certain way. You make me want to feel like I got to walk in there. I got to look right when I leave there, man.
Yeah.
It's just different energy, bro.
Thank you.
I love that about you. So it's just super dope how you've done this. You started with your young age with your two fathers, right?
My father, my grandfather, yeah.
I think and correct me if I'm wrong, going to those bigger houses, that do something for you? Like, wow, this is like possible.
As a kid, I grew up in D.C. I grew up in a rough neighborhood in Washington. And being exposed to horses took me into different.
How'd you get exposed to horses in the hood?
I went to a camp.
Huh?
Well, I didn't get exposed to them in D.C. I was in a camp.
Okay.
And at the camp, they had these horses, and I was able to ride, and that developed my passion for horses. And then my great-grandmother paid for me to take some riding lessons. Going out to that barn on the weekends was my first exposure to white people and white culture. Like, my neighborhood, I didn't know any white people. I didn't go to school with any white people. Washington was Chocolate City.
Yeah.
For a reason, because that's what all you saw was
D.C.
D.C. was black people. That's it. In the 70s. So going out to that barn was the first time I was really exposed to any other culture outside of people I grew up around. So that exposure showed me that there was another life, another situation. The conversations they would have, was different than the conversations my friends and I would have at home. So being able to, and after they were better, okay, because they had their problems and stuff too. But I just think that that exposure. I was talking to a friend of mine today. My younger brother, committed suicide in prison.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
And that cousin who grew up we grew up like brothers, 3 months apart. He died from a drug overdose. I attribute that barn, those horses, to keeping me out of a lot of stuff that my cousins, my brothers, people, friends I grew up around with. And that's why it really motivated me to really start the foundation for helping Ride to the Olympics, which is helping kids get exposed to the horses and the polo stuff.
That's crazy, man. I love how you take your childhood and say, hey, this is part of this that I'm gonna attribute to my path now.
Yeah. Well, it's a part of my great grandmother's legacy. She died. I found that she only made $11,000 a year, and so for her to have sacrificed for me to take those riding lessons, and my grandfather rather drive me out to the barn on Saturday mornings, was just life changing for me.
Village.
Yeah, and now I'm playing polo around the world. I played in London last month. I played not at my event.
So maybe should have took you for some more lessons.
Nah.
When you were younger.
We had UK come in, so back in July, a few friends of mine here, we all went to London and played in polo matches
crazy.
over there.
You told me that.
And we made friends with a bunch of people there, and they ended up coming here and playing it.
What is up with you to get people like this dude went to London, got the whole team? What is it about? Like, and again, we're going back to serving, but then people want to follow you. Like, I couldn't get a crew from London to fly out here within 2 months' notice.
Yeah, they came 2 months' notice. It was crazy because the thing, polo players are different.
Okay.
We like to play and have fun. I think it's a perception of polo that it's the king sport, right? It's probably the most elite sport you could play.
Yeah.
I don't know there's anything more elite than polo, but the average polo player is a regular guy who likes to play polo, and just doesn't think about it from a standpoint of elitism. We just want to have fun. So when I say, man, I'm having a polo party in Atlanta, that was sounded won. You know what I mean? Who would want to come?
True.
And so just like we went there, because I said, I want to go to UK and play because it sounds fun. We're going to Dubai and play in a couple months. So, but the thing is,
That's a different conversation.
But this is the gift of the sport that's global. You know what I mean? This is what we are exposing to these kids, man, giving them an opportunity to see and meet. And I always say that polos consist of a lot of guys who run companies, sit on boards.
Is it good for networking?
All that, in a degree. But what's good about it for the kids is that these people will never go to the neighborhoods these kids live in. But for me to bring these kids out to the polo field and they get a chance to meet them, that's life-changing because, yes, they embrace the sport. They embrace the opportunity of being inclusive. They embrace the opportunity to help this kid be able to ride and play and have fun, right? So that's the beauty of polo. Now, inclusive, but there's limitations with polo in that, not many people can relate to it. So I can meet a CEO of a company. He played golf, so if I can talk golf, fine. But polo is like a 2-minute conversation.
Ah, got you.
He may be intrigued by it, but
Yeah.
he really doesn't have much more conversation to add to it. So I just think though it opens doors globally. It invites people at all levels. When you're dealing with, like I said, the CEOs of corporations, or the business owners, the board members, opportunities to go to different schools, opportunities to have different jobs and situations. Polo opens a lot of those doors.
Well, if you guys hear that now, I'm gonna. How old do you got to be? My son's 9.
Yeah,
Can he come?
You can play it, man. You can start at 5, man.
What does it cost to get a Miguel Wilson lesson at 9 and 51? I want the family.
Oh, family got you. I've talked to you
Fall
about
off my back, be
Yeah.
hurt now. We'll just stick with Hans. What does something like that cost? Because I want people to realize that you just said it's a whole nother level. Like you taking your son to a basketball court. No disrespect to basketball and anything that we play culturally, but it's a limitation, and it's almost like a rite of passage to like going to certain colleges, right?
Right, but I'll say this too, that even in our culture, everybody can't play basketball or football. Everybody can't do, but guess what? We probably have some professional polo players that don't know they're professional polo players.
Facts.
And, this kid who played at Morehouse, man, he was a tiny fella, and he was very mild-mannered. But when he got on a horse, he was a beast. You never would have, you couldn't see him playing many other sports, but when in polo, he was really aggressive, a very dynamic player. So polo can expose kids to a lot of other things they never would be exposed to. Maybe a veterinarian, maybe, just by playing and meeting this guy who's an attorney, you get exposed to that, to law. But it's just exposing you to people all around the world. I've been approached by the South African government about coming to play in the Africa Open, I had people in the Bahamas call me about trying to do a polo classic there. So it's a global environment, but it's a small community, so it's easy to really, get a name in polo, if you will.
So is it a coincidence that like the polo clothing with the guy doing this, you're doing that, and then you're into fashion? Is that all just coincidental?
It's coincidental, but what's so crazy is that when I went to the Best Academy, which is a 100% black boys' school here in Atlanta, it's a public school, and when I first went there and talked to them about starting a polo team there, a lot of those kids were like, I thought that was just a horse on the shirt. I had no idea it was an actual sport, which just goes to show you just how, far that is when you just don't even realize it's actual something that people, sport that people play. But I'm so proud that we started it there because the Best Academy is 100% black boys, yet they get almost 100% graduation. They get almost 100% go to college.
Where is that?
Right in Southwest Atlanta, right here, in this public school. And what that showed me is that, in our community, black boys get probably the worst perception. But and I say, what's the difference? Why is Best producing these types of results and other schools aren't? And the answer is because they're addressing the needs of the community there. You can't, it's all single parents, kids, right? So you can't expect kids to come to school and learn if they come to school hungry. So you got to address that. Yes. You got to address the kids that don't have parents that can read and write even, that can't maybe help them with their homework. You have to address the need that, they may not have computers at home or access to the internet and stuff, So I just think that what Best Academy has shown is that if you as a community can address the needs of the community, you'll have success. Because at the end of the day, God created all of us equal. And the only difference is our experiences and our exposure. Period.
I love it, man. This is so dope, man. We're gonna kind of almost close out, but we're gonna go to the segment. So we got a segment, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'll put my lab coat on.
Okay.
And I'll address the needs of Miguel Wilson.
Okay.
So I'm going to do an overall health evaluation
on
you and your business. But because you got your suit on, we ain't going to make you dump into the doctor's chair.
Hope you check my knee out because I got
So you got the suit on. I'm going to just kind of put the jacket on. We're going to go on and just think of something that we say unhealthy, but we just use that word and substitute it with anything that you feel would help the Miguel Wilson clothing or the polo thing go to the next level. And as your doctor, I'm going to write your prescription to make sure we remedy that situation. Sounds good? All right, there you go. On today's episode now, this is the part where I'm going to talk. I'm here with special guest Miguel Wilson. And Miguel, you visited me today.
Thank you.
You got a problem, something that you feel like needs improvement either in your store, your mentorship, your foundation.
Right.
What is it?
So I think that we have a problem, a serious mental health problem within the black community.
Okay.
That's preventing us from doing more business with each other, and particularly on a luxury level.
Okay.
So we need to change our thought process and mindset where we can start to spend more money at the higher level with luxury brands, black-owned luxury brands.
I like that. How long have you been dealing with this issue?
Well, let me give you an example, okay?
And I'm talking to my assistant. I'm texting.
Yeah. So I am in probably the most luxurious mall in the Southeast United States, Phipps Plaza. I'm on the second floor in Phipps Plaza. We have the first floor of Phipps Plaza probably sees 90% of the people that come in the door. 50% of those people are African Americans that support the Gucci's, the Versace's, the Tom Fords, the Hermes, all those businesses are on the first floor in that mall. I'm on the second floor. 10% of the people that come in the mall come to the second floor. We don't have any black-owned businesses on the first floor of Phipps Plaza. I've been in the mall 10 years, and what would help a black business get on the first floor is we have to have the sales that are generated to support the rent they charge on the first floor. So I know there might be a mouthful, a lot to say, but at the end of the day, we have to start demanding more out of the businesses that we support. That makes sense. I think that, Phipps Plaza, 50% black owned. 50% of the customers that come there are black people. Yet we don't support black businesses enough to put us on the first floor.
Okay. So one of the things that me and my assistant's been talking about
Okay.
is we already know you're connected with HBCUs for the polo.
Mhm.
Now you connected with HBCUs for your suits.
So I've done jackets for many years. I did it for Morehouse College. So they used to give jackets, blazers to all of the entering freshmen.
Okay.
And I provided those jackets for them when they did that for many years. They stopped doing it because what he told me was that so many of the freshmen don't end up graduating that they feel like they're wasting their money buying jackets for kids and not graduating. So the idea was to flip it to the seniors, but I haven't seen them reinstitute that plan or process.
Okay.
So, but I've had a relationship with a lot of HBCUs in terms of doing clothes and attire for jackets. I've done stuff for many college presidents and so forth.
And you have a presence in social media outside of yourself. Do you have like influencers? So the same way people use food influence, do you have suit guys or people that come in and say, hey, when you come into Atlanta, go here?
I have a lot of celebrities that wear my clothes, and I did 2 Chainz's wedding,
Yes.
and 2 Chainz actually even put me in a record. I have a verse.
Dope.
We have, I do New Edition for you.
You did Master P.
I just Master P. I've done. I have hundreds of,
But now,
celebs.
Are we focusing it on like 2 Chainz is huge, but it's like the young person's game, right? Where these young people are having the millions of followers, right? So we might want to focus on that, but are you also tied into any wedding planners?
Yes. So, I've had my clothes in many bridal salons around. I've worked with umpteen wedding planners. So, yes, from a standpoint of doing weddings and so forth.
So they got you on their vendor list.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other one.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
Mobile suit experience. Have you thought about people that can't come to Phipps, you go to them?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've created a program where you can today call us and say, want a guy to come out to the house or come to your place of business for us to do suits for you. So we've had that.
It's just a little upsell for somebody coming.
We don't even upsell you. It's like, man, this is actually at a service to our products. Yeah.
And then also just the Black Chamber of Commerce. Are you partnered with them?
I'm familiar with. I probably could do more with them. Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you this, just with us being affiliated with them on the food truck side, they've opened doors and put us in rooms with governors, mayors, commissioners in Atlanta. So they're like, hey, you want things to move, like the Black Chamber of Commerce is a powerful source. I think just on what we've been able to do in less than a month, they've put us in where we might even have a restaurant at, the Underground.
Right.
They're redoing that.
Right.
So those are things that, again, networking with them, they do the networking for you.
I've actually met with the brother that runs the Black Chamber here in Atlanta, and also met the national president. So, yes, I've talked to them about being more involved. Just hadn't really pursued much, but I will definitely look more into that.
Yeah, so basically, it sounds like you've done all the things that you need to do, but some of the things maybe we need to tweak a little.
I just think that still that at the end of the day, it's still a mental barrier for a lot of black people. I think that they tend to see black businesses as less than mentally. I think this is the chains that are left over from slavery.
Yeah.
The mental chains. I think that they still don't see each other as good or good enough. Where they think that's where we get into wanting to discount you, wanting to and I think that's a problem. I think it's a problem with our community. That's why, for me doing the Atlanta Fashion Polo Classic, something on a luxury level, is to help us see each other on that level so that we are more likely to do business with each other. but it's still a mental issue within our community.
I think and agree with me if we continue to work, which I will always support the Polo Classic, but next year, God willing, I'll be able to support it in a bigger way because I love what you're about to do. I think the ripple effect will be that, right? So maybe if we focus on just making this Polo Classic and black tie event keeps getting bigger,
right.
I think the ripple effect will be,
right.
Yeah, so maybe we just focus on that for a couple things. Okay, great. The doctor has solved the problem again. I ain't solved nothing, but I hear what you're saying. I think I love what you're saying. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
My Instagram, I'm on it constantly. Miguel Wilson Collection. You can DM me there. That's probably the best way. I'll definitely always reach out. You can always call one of my stores either in Phipps Plaza and leave me a message there. I can return the call as well.
If someone wants you to be their mentor, is it the same thing?
Same process.
If someone wants their kid to be involved in polo.
So our foundation is limited in what we can do because we focused on really the high school team. However, I can always give people access and opportunities to get into it for sure.
And it'll be right here in Georgia.
I got opportunities here in Georgia.
Because I'm serious about getting my son in.
Yeah, would love to. Yeah, absolutely.
Because we was just about to put him in
golf. I can get him, and you should.
Okay.
You should do golf too.
Okay.
I think both are just phenomenal ways to access opportunities.
Okay. Yeah, and we wanted to do it for exposure, right? Get him out of. He's playing soccer 6 days a week. Let's get him to think outside the box.
Absolutely.
I love it, man. Well, do you guys have any questions for Miguel? I always ask my team before we leave because he's a one-time, listen, get him here, speak once, forever, hold your peace. This is the guy right now.
I got something
off camera, okay, cool. I don't know if he does private consultation. That's up to you, Miguel. Listen, it's been a pleasure having you.
Always, brother. Thanks.
Oh, no, thank you, my guy. And if you guys want to know anything about fashion in your local, please see Miguel at Phipps Plaza. Like, he's in the most exclusive mall in Georgia. It's high-end, and his mentality is high-end, and the way he's going to make you feel when you leave there is high-end.
Amen.
I'm that hype man, bro.
Absolutely.
I got you.
I'm take you everywhere with me.
Listen, Miguel, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. I thank God for you every day. Somebody like Miguel needs to be protected, invested in, and supported in any cause because you're a dime a dozen, my guy. I
appreciate that.
I say that from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
So let's make sure that we support him and all of his causes because it's about the youth, like he says, right? Any parting words?
Hey, man, I'm just feeling full of gratitude that I'm even here to be able to spend time with you and that you're taking interest in what I'm doing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. Look out for the Miguel Polo Classic next year.
Yes.
April.
Yes. No, we're gonna do DC in May.
DC, I'm gonna be there.
And we're gonna do back in Atlanta, October the 9th through the 11th.
Man, if y'all want to do something different and watch a polo and have people like come in with fine arts, food, drinks, the dopest cars there, it's just a different experience, right, Chef? Chef went for the first time, and he's from DC. It's like, and then if you want to
from
be
DC,
Maryland.
Okay, Baltimore. Okay, yeah. We had the governor here this year.
Yeah,
Governor Westmore. Yeah,
So it's dope if you want to bring a girl, just impress her.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go to one of these restaurants, like do something different. I bought my girl, now we go. Now we're a couple, so
there you go.
Thank you for that.
All right, you're welcome. Absolutely.
Again, man, I appreciate y'all. We're going to wrap up episode 18. Miguel Wilson, let's go. Appreciate you, bro.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, my friend.